Stop for a second and ask yourself this. How many times have you quit before the fight even began? How many projects, challenges, or goals have you abandoned at the first whisper of discomfort? The truth you don't want to face is this. Your mind is lying to you. It's whispering excuses, feeding fear, and selling you the illusion that giving up is okay. It's easy, it's safe, and it's destroying everything you could have become. Most people quit before they even start. They think that trying and failing is worse than never trying at all. But here's the brutal reality. Failing is nothing compared to the slow gnawing poison of quitting. Quitting leaves scars that no one sees, scars on your confidence, on your potential, on the life you could have built. Every time you step aside, every time you choose comfort over growth, you are telling yourself that mediocrity is acceptable. And the worst part, you'll keep doing it until life forces you into a corner where regret becomes a permanent resident. Pain, you hear it, you feel it, and your first instinct is to run. But pain is not your enemy. Pain is the signal your soul is alive. Pain is the doorway to growth, the fire that tempers the steel of who you are meant to become. Every drop of sweat, every aching muscle, every sleepless night is a chance to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. Imagine a runner hitting mile 10 while a storm rages overhead. Most people stop, most people turn back, but what if you pushed? What if you ignored the voice that begged you to quit and kept moving? That's where transformation happens, right at the edge where quitting feels easiest. Now picture yourself 10 years from today. You're looking back at this moment, not at the pain, not at the struggle, but at the choices you made. Are you proud of how many times you quit? Are you proud that you took the easy route while life passed you by? Or are you wishing you had pushed through even when every fiber of your being screamed, stop? This is not a hypothetical exercise. This is your life ticking away with every moment of inaction. Regret is real. Wasted potential is real. Settling is real. And the cold truth is, nobody's coming to save you from it. The problem is, quitting feels comfortable. It feels safe. But comfort is a cage, and you've been trapped in it for too long. The voice in your head telling you to stop, to slow down, to give up, it's lying. It wants to keep you small. It wants to keep you safe. It wants you to look back 10 years from now and wonder what could have been. And the only way to silence that voice is with brutal honesty, with unflinching self-accountability. Look at yourself and ask, am I running from the challenge or am I running toward my potential? Every single time you feel like quitting, remember this: the pain, the fear, the discomfort, they are the indicators that you are on the right path. They are proof that growth is happening. The quitter's path is easy, but it's lined with emptiness, regret, and what ifs. The warrior's path, the path of relentless accountability, discipline, and courage is hard. It is uncomfortable. It tests every limit, but it builds strength that lasts beyond any moment of suffering. This video is your wake-up call. The clock is ticking. The opportunity to break your limits is right now, in this very moment. Don't listen to the liar in your head. Don't step aside. Lean into the discomfort, face the fire, and push forward. The first step is always the hardest, but it's also the one that separates the quitters from the relentless. Every time you feel like quitting, there's a voice whispering in your ear. It's quiet at first, subtle, almost polite, but if you don't recognize it, it grows louder, more convincing, until it's screaming at you to stop, to step aside, to settle for less. That voice, that internal saboteur, is not truth. It's fear disguised as reason, weakness wrapped in logic, and comfort pretending to be wisdom. And it's been controlling more of your life than you realize. Think about it. How often have you said, I can't? Not because your body or mind is incapable, but because it's uncomfortable, because it requires effort, because failure might be possible. I can't is a lie. What you really mean is, I won't push through. That subtle shift admitting that quitting is your choices, the difference between staying weak and starting to own your power. Every quitter, every person stuck in mediocrity tells themselves, I can't, instead of facing the brutal honesty that they simply refuse to endure the pain required for growth. Now identify the triggers. They're everywhere, and they're designed to make quitting feel necessary. Fatigue, that heavy, crushing sense of exhaustion, is the easiest excuse to surrender. Fear, that voice, predicting every worst-case scenario, paralyze your action before it even begins. Boredom, the creeping sense that effort is pointless, will convince you that your struggle has no value. Judgment, worrying about what others think, will cage you in silence while life passes by. These are the silent killers of potential, the invisible chains keeping you small. Recognize them, name them, own them. Awareness is the first weapon against weakness. Your mind has mastered the art of exaggeration. It inflates obstacles, magnifies discomfort, and distorts reality to make quitting feel like the only rational choice. Every challenge seems bigger than it is because your fear is whispering the worst possible outcome. But here's the truth, obstacles are never as insurmountable as your mind tells you. The weight you feel is real, but it's meant to test you, not stop you. Every person who achieves greatness faces the same weight, but the difference is that they don't listen to the whispers. They stare the fear down and keep moving forward step by step, even when the voice screams louder than their own heartbeats. Picture this, shadowy figures tugging at your arms, pulling you backward. That's your internal saboteur, each doubt, each excuse, each mental trick designed to stop you. You can feel it, can't you? The temptation to quit, to step away from discomfort, to let yourself off the hook, but now you know what it is. Awareness is power. Every time you identify the lie, every time you recognize the whisper for what it truly is, you take one step closer to breaking free. You see the weak voice for what it is, a shadow with no real strength, only the illusion of control. Here's the harsh reality. Until you confront this voice, until you truly recognize it, it will continue to sabotage you. It will mask itself as logic, as caution, as wisdom. It will convince you that quitting is protection, not defeat. But now, in this moment, you have the choice to call it out, to name it, to refuse its authority over your life. Every time that voice tries to whisper stop, counter it with brutal honesty. No, I will not quit. I will push through. I will endure. This is the first step in building mental armor. Before you can conquer the world, you must conquer the liar in your head. You must face the shadow, acknowledge its existence, and refuse to let it dictate your actions. Weakness is quiet, it's deceptive, and it preys on the unprepared. But when you recognize it, when you shine light on the saboteur, you strip it of power. And from this point forward, every time that familiar urge to quit rises, you will meet it not with surrender, but with awareness, with defiance, with action. Pain is inevitable. Discomfort is unavoidable. Struggle is not optional, it's guaranteed. And yet, the majority of people treat it as if it were a disease, something to escape, to numb, to avoid at all costs. They chase comfort like it's a religion, and every time they do, they chip away at their potential, one small surrender at a time. Here's the unfiltered truth. The moment you run from pain, you surrender to weakness. Every time you avoid struggle, every time you quit because it hurts, you are actively choosing stagnation over growth. This is the principle that separates the quitters from the relentless. Pain is not your enemy, it is the forge of your character. Every mental, emotional, or physical challenge is a hammer striking your steel. The question is, do you stand there and let it shape you into something stronger, or do you flinch and let it leave you brittle and weak? Imagine a blacksmith hammering molten steel repeatedly. Each strike is painful, each blow is punishing, yet each blow is necessary. Without that relentless hammering, the metal never becomes unbreakable. You are that metal, your struggle is the hammer. And every time you resist the urge to quit, you become stronger, sharper, more resilient than before. Most people have no idea what real suffering is. They cry over temporary discomfort while their dreams slip through their fingers. A runner hitting mile 18 of a marathon may feel like dying, but that's where the magic happens, the point where ordinary people give up, but warriors push through. That physical ache, that mental fatigue, that burning in your lungs and legs is not punishment, it is opportunity. Opportunity to build mental toughness, to condition your mind to endure, to prove to yourself that your limits are negotiable, not fixed. Every time you quit, you are training yourself to be weak. Each surrender reinforces the voice of laziness, the voice of fear, the voice that whispers enough is enough, when enough is never enough. Weakness grows in the gaps where you refuse to face suffering. Strength grows in the cracks where you stare the pain in the face and refuse to blink. This is not hypothetical. Every great achievement, every moment of triumph, every act of mastery over self comes from embracing suffering rather than avoiding it. If you want to dominate your life, you must learn to welcome the pain that comes with progress. Now, let's get practical. Pain is temporary, but regret is permanent. Every time you walk away from struggle, your mind finds 1,000 reasons why quitting was the right choice. It's comfortable, it's logical, it feels like relief, but relief is a liar. Relief feels good in the moment, but haunts you forever. Picture yourself a year from now, a decade from now, looking back at the opportunities you abandoned because you couldn't endure temporary pain. That regret is heavier than any suffering you face today. It lasts longer than any ache in your muscles. It is a weight that no comfort can ever lift. This is why embracing suffering is not optional, it's mandatory. Every challenge, every obstacle, every burning set at the gym, every late night grind session, every uncomfortable conversation, every failure, these are the fires in which your resilience is forged. You cannot pick and choose the moments to embrace pain. You must lean into it, train your mind to accept it as the necessary cost of achievement. Every time your body screams to quit, every time your mind begs for comfort, Answer with defiance. Say, this is temporary, I will endure, I will grow. Let the discomfort be your teacher. Let it etch discipline into your muscles, patience into your mind, courage into your soul. Here's something most people don't understand. The human mind and body are far stronger than we ever give them credit for. Fatigue is often an illusion, built by fear and lack of mental conditioning. The moment you push past the point where you think you can't, that's when transformation happens. That's when you realize that the pain wasn't the enemy, it was the signal that you were ready to break through. That's when mental toughness is built, not in comfort, not in safety, but in the moments that feel unbearable. Suffering is the ultimate equalizer. Everyone feels it, everyone experiences it. The difference between those who excel and those who settle is not the absence of pain, it's the response to it. Some cry, some complain, some run. The relentless embrace it. They seek it out. They chase the edge where most people stop. They understand that growth is found only on the other side of suffering, and that quitting is the only guaranteed way to remain small. Let me break it down further. Mental toughness is a muscle. Like any muscle, it requires stress to grow. Each moment of discomfort, each time you ignore the urge to quit, each time you endure what feels unbearable, you are training that muscle. Every skipped workout, every incomplete project, every time you let fear dictate your action, that's a missed opportunity to build toughness. Every time you push through the struggle, you are hammering that steel, forging unbreakable resilience. And don't fool yourself. Suffering doesn't just happen in physical challenges. Emotional and mental pain hits just as hard. That's where most people collapse. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of judgment. These are the same fires that can forge strength if you face them head on. Every uncomfortable conversation you have, every time you do the work when nobody is watching, every time you take ownership instead of blaming, these are exercises in embracing suffering. They build discipline, patience, courage, and ultimately freedom from your own weakness. Now visualize this. You are standing in front of the heaviest burden you've ever carried. It's crushing your body, tearing at your mind, tempting you to give up. Most would collapse, most would surrender, but not you. You lean into it, you grip it tighter. You push through it, even when every fiber of your being screams to stop. That is the moment of transformation. That is where ordinary people are left behind. That is where you build something permanent inside yourself, a mind that refuses to quit, a body that refuses to surrender, a spirit that cannot be broken. Pain is temporary, weakness is optional, regret is permanent. The choice is yours every single moment, every single struggle, every single fight. Embrace suffering, chase discomfort, let it shape you, let it define you. Every time you feel like quitting, remember this: growth lives in the fire, strength comes from struggle, and the person you are meant to become is forged in moments most people run from. You do not run. You endure, you conquer, you embrace suffering, because that is how you win. You have one enemy that's been hiding in plain sight, one force that has kept you weak longer than any challenge ever could: yourself. Every time you quit, every time you give up, every time you choose comfort over progress, it's not circumstances, it's not the world, it's you. You are the one responsible. And until you fully accept that, until you stare in the mirror and say, this is on me, you will never be free of the chains that hold you back. Radical ownership is the key to breaking through, and it starts with brutal honesty. Most people live their lives passing the blame. I didn't have the time. The conditions weren't right. They didn't support me. It's always someone or something else. But here's the truth: excuses are cowardice dressed in logic. They are lies your mind tells you to feel better about giving up. The moment you blame another person, another situation, or your environment, you surrender your power. Ownership, on the other hand, is reclaiming that power. It is saying, no more excuses. I am responsible. I am the problem and I am the solution. That is the kind of mindset that turns weakness into strength, inaction into unstoppable action, and hesitation into unbreakable discipline. Think about every time you quit, every time you back down from a challenge. It wasn't just the action you abandoned, it was the responsibility you refused to carry. Every unfinished project, every skipped workout, every avoided confrontation is not a result of fate, it's a choice you made. That choice defines you until you decide otherwise. And the moment you own it, truly own it, something shifts. The power moves from the external world back to you. You become the captain of your life instead of the passenger watching it slip by. Radical accountability is not just admitting when you fail, it's taking responsibility for every hesitation, every weak thought, every moment you entertain the idea of quitting. The human mind will always offer 1,000 reasons to step aside. It will manufacture excuses so convincing that you believe them without question. But the only way to silence that voice is to say, I own this. This is my responsibility. There is no one else to blame. A soldier on the battlefield carries every pound of his pack, Every step through the mud, every failure to keep formation is his burden and his alone. Nobody else can carry it for him. Life is the same. Your failures are yours, your excuses are yours, and your victories will be yours too if you take ownership. Let's go deeper. Ownership requires absolute self-awareness. You have to track every time you gave up, every moment you chose comfort over growth, every hesitation that cost you progress. Don't gloss over it, don't minimize it, write it down, examine it. Stare it in the face. Accept that these are your choices. This is what you have done to yourself. No one else is responsible. This is the mental weight you must lift before you can rise. Action is the only antidote to excuses. Ownership without action is just another form of stagnation. You can admit your failures, you can acknowledge your weaknesses, but unless you take immediate, relentless steps forward, nothing changes. Action is brutal, it requires discipline, it demands discomfort. It forces you to confront every weakness head on, and yet it is the only thing that guarantees growth. Every step, every rep, every decision to continue when quitting feels easier, that is where accountability transforms into power. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Your comfort zone is a prison, and the lock is your own reluctance to own responsibility. You will never escape it until you face yourself fully, without excuses, without rationalization, without softening the blow. When you do, the world no longer controls you. Your circumstances no longer dictate your results. You are the master of your mind, the commander of your choices, the architect of your life. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Every challenge becomes a proving ground. Let's visualize it. Picture a soldier on the edge of a battlefield, every ounce of his energy tested, every nerve on fire, carrying his own pack, responsible for every step, every decision, every survival choice. There's no one else to lean on, no one else to save him. If he falters, he falls. If he blames, he fails. Yet he endures. That soldier is you. Every choice you make, every burden you carry, every moment of hesitation, it is yours. And only by fully accepting that truth do you step into the arena of the relentless. Ownership also means taking responsibility for your thoughts, not just your actions. The moment you entertain the idea of quitting, you must own it. Don't let fleeting fear or fleeting fatigue dictate your behavior. Acknowledging the temptation to quit, confronting it, and pushing through it, this is radical accountability in action. It's not enough to say, I will try harder next time. That is still rationalization. True ownership demands that you stand in the discomfort now, face it, and continue. This is where transformation happens. The moment you stop blaming, stop rationalizing, stop giving your power away, you begin to reclaim it. Every failed attempt becomes a lesson. Every hesitation becomes a marker of growth. Every past weakness becomes a foundation for relentless strength. Ownership rewires the mind. It forces the weak voice of doubt to retreat because you have no space for it. Your mind becomes a battlefield where you are the commander and excuses are the enemy you no longer tolerate. And here's the kicker. Radical ownership is contagious. When you live this way, people around you take notice. You become the standard, the example, the one who refuses to quit, regardless of the circumstances. But make no mistake, this is not about them. This is about you. You carry the weight, you endure the struggle, and you harvest the victories. Every time you claim ownership of your choices, you expand the limits of what you are capable of enduring. You stop being a victim and start being a warrior. So here's the call. Examine your life. Trace every moment where quitting seemed easier, every shortcut you took, every failure you blamed on circumstances or people. Own it, name it, embrace it. Then decide with every fiber of your being that you will not let excuses dictate your future. Take responsibility. Move relentlessly. Act without hesitation. Let accountability become your armor, your weapon, and your standard. Because until you own it, you will always be at the mercy of weakness. And once you do, there's nothing in the world that can stop you. This is the moment that separates the quitters from the relentless. The point where your mind whispers, screams, pleads, and begs you to stop. Your body is aching, your muscles are burning, your lungs are screaming for air, and every fiber of your being is telling you that you've reached your limit. It's natural, it's human, and it's exactly where transformation begins. Close your eyes and visualize it. Picture yourself in the gym, your last set of squats, your last mile on the treadmill, or your last rep of push-ups. Your legs feel like they weigh 1,000 pounds, your arms are trembling, sweat is pouring down your face, every breath is a battle, and then your mind speaks. It says, stop, you're done, you've done enough, you can't go any further. That is the voice of weakness, the saboteur you've been battling all your life. That voice is lying. That voice wants you small. That voice wants you to settle for average. And this is where most people quit. Most people step aside. Most people let that voice win. They stop, they catch their breath. They rationalize. They look for excuses. But not you, not now. Because this is the exact moment that defines everything. Every champion, every soldier, every relentless human being has faced this precise moment. The difference is that they did not surrender. They overrode the voice. They pushed past the limits their body and mind tried to impose. And that is what you are about to do. Your body wants to quit. Your lungs are burning. Your legs feel like lead. Your arms shake uncontrollably. But your mind has one more choice, one more step, one more rep, one more inch. That is all it takes. One more. That is the mentality of the relentless. That is the difference between mediocrity and dominance. That is the difference between quitting and becoming unstoppable. Let's dig deeper. Imagine a marathon runner hitting the wall at mile 20. Every joint screams, every muscle is on fire, every breath feels impossible. And yet somewhere inside, there is a choice. You can collapse, you can quit, or you can push. That runner pushes, step by step, breath by breath, refusing to let the pain dictate the outcome. That is the fight or quit moment in pure form. And you are living it right now in your mind, even if it's not physical. Every challenge you've ever faced, every struggle you've ever wanted to escape is this moment replayed. Adrenaline and discipline collide here. Your body is screaming stop, but your mind has the power to override it. Discipline is the hammer that breaks weakness. Discipline is the fuel that converts exhaustion into action. Discipline is the relentless whisper inside your head that says, you are stronger than this, you will endure. Adrenaline fuels your body, discipline fuels your will. Together, they create breakthroughs that are impossible under comfort, impossible under hesitation, impossible under surrender. Visualize a climber inches from the summit. Their hands are bleeding, their arms quivering, their fingers slipping on the icy edge. They want to fall. Every instinct tells them to retreat. But retreat is not an option. One hand, 1 foot, 1 inch at a time, they reach the peak. They embrace the fear, the pain, the exhaustion. And at the summit, they are reborn. The struggle did not break them. The struggle made them. That is exactly what you are facing in this moment. The summit is there waiting, but only if you refuse to quit. Your mind will manufacture every excuse to stop. It will tell you you've done enough, or you're not ready, or this is too hard. That's the voice of weakness. That is the voice of everyone who never reached their potential. That is the voice that keeps people average, small, and predictable. And you have two choices, obey it or dominate it. This is a mental fight, a psychological war. And every inch you push past the desire to quit is a victory. Every rep, every step, every breath you force against resistance is a declaration. I refuse to surrender. Now, think about the moments in your life where you could have quit. The projects left unfinished, the goals abandoned, the opportunities ignored. That was the same fight or quit moment, just disguised differently. Your excuses were whispers, your hesitation was temptation, and your comfort was a cage. And every time you listened, you imprisoned yourself. But this moment right now is different. You have awareness. You have the knowledge that growth exists on the other side of pain. You have the chance to stare your weakness in the face and tell it, not today, not ever. The intensity must rise. Visualize your heart pounding, your blood boiling, your mind screaming. Embrace it. Lean into it. This is not suffering. This is awakening. This is the fire that burns mediocrity out of your veins and leaves only relentless willpower behind. Your body will fail if your mind does not dominate it. Your muscles will cry if your discipline does not guide them. Your fear will paralyze if your courage does not command it. And courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act despite fear. That is the essence of the fight or quit moment. Here's the hard truth. Nobody is coming to save you. No one will push you harder than your own mind. No one will carry you through the pain, through the struggle, through the exhaustion. That is your responsibility, and responsibility is power. Own it, embrace it, push through it. When the world expects you to collapse, when the challenge seems unbearable, that is when warriors are made. That is when limits are shattered. That is when you become relentless. Picture this. You are carrying every ounce of weakness you've ever allowed into this moment. Every time you quit in the past, every time you settled, every time you chose comfort over growth, it's all here, piled on your back. The weight is unbearable, but that weight is also fuel. Every pound, every failure, every regret is energy you can convert into forward motion. Lean into it. Press harder, fight harder. Every second you endure is a victory. Every breath you force past the pain is a triumph. Every step, every rep, every inch forward is proof that you will not surrender. And now, a final push. This is where action meets willpower. This is where pain becomes your ally instead of your enemy. This is where you stare the voice of weakness in the face and say, I do not quit. I do not surrender. I will endure. I will conquer. The mind cannot win if the will refuses to bend. The body cannot stop if the mind commands it. Fear cannot dictate your actions if courage drives them. This is the apex of intensity. This is the battlefield of your own mind. And this is the moment that defines the relentless. Every time you feel like quitting, every time the voice whispers in your ear, replay this moment. Visualize it in every challenge, every struggle, every grind session, every test, every obstacle. Remember the fire. Remember the intensity. Remember the choice you made. To push, to fight, to endure. That choice becomes a habit. That choice becomes your identity. That choice turns ordinary humans into warriors, warriors into unstoppable forces, and unstoppable forces into legends of their own lives. You will leave this moment changed. Your heart will pound. Your mind will ignite. Your body will tremble. But you will have confronted the exact moment your weakness wanted to whine in. You will have refused. That refusal is a declaration. It is a promise to yourself. It is the code of the relentless, and once you internalize it, nothing, and I mean nothing, can stop you from pushing forward in life, in work, in the gym, in every struggle you face. Because here's the ultimate truth. The fight or quit moment is endless. It comes again and again every day in every form. The difference is now you know. You have faced it. You have endured it. And every time it comes again, you are stronger, more prepared, more relentless than ever. Pain, fatigue, fear, hesitation, they are no longer masters over you. You are the master, you are the commander, you are the force that refuses to quit, refuses to surrender, refuses to settle. That is what separates the weak from the relentless. That is the moment you rise. Discipline is the bridge. The bridge between the person who quits at the first sign of discomfort and the person who conquers. Discipline is not a feeling. Discipline is not motivation. Discipline is a decision. A decision to act, to move, to endure, to persist, regardless of how your mind or your body feels in that moment. It is the engine that keeps you moving when everything in you is screaming to stop. And this is where the battle shifts. The battle is no longer about whether you will feel pain, it's about whether you will act anyway. Think about it. Most people wait for motivation. They think they need a perfect mood, perfect conditions, perfect energy. They say, I'll do it when I feel ready. And how often does that happen? Rarely. Motivation is fleeting. It is unreliable. Discipline is permanent. Discipline is what separates the people who settle from the people who dominate. Every time you make the choice to act when your mind and body scream stop, you are strengthening the only thing that guarantees success, yourself. Let's talk about the micro choices, because discipline is not built in heroics, it is built in repetition. Every day presents hundreds of small decisions. Do you get out of bed at 5:00 a.m. or do you hit snooze? Do you train your body when every muscle aches, or do you skip because it's uncomfortable? Do you focus on the task in front of you, or do you scroll, distract, and procrastinate? These moments are not trivial. They are the foundation of your life. Every time you choose discomfort over comfort, effort over avoidance, persistence over surrender, you are forging your inner discipline. This is how the quitters are separated from the relentless. One small choice at a time. Discipline is a ritual, not an occasional act. You cannot expect to build strength by acting heroic once in a while. It must become habitual, non-negotiable, unavoidable. Think about athletes rising before dawn while the rest of the world sleeps. Think about writers, entrepreneurs, and creators who grind relentlessly in the early hours when nobody is watching, when the world is quiet. Their secret is not talent, it is discipline. Every single day, they do the work they do not feel like doing. They ritualize discomfort. They embrace struggle as part of the process. And that is what makes quitting impossible. Here's the brutal truth. Your mind will fight you every step of the way. It will tell you you've done enough, that you deserve rest, that this is unreasonable. It will tell you that life is unfair, that your body is tired, that tomorrow is a better day. That is the voice of weakness, and you will confront it daily. Discipline is your weapon against it. Discipline is what forces action when excuses scream the loudest. Discipline is what ensures that you show up even when motivation leaves the building. Let's make this concrete. Create your morning. Own it. Wake up before the world tells you to. Before your friends, before distractions, before the comfort of sleep has a chance to wrap you in excuses. Train your body. Condition your mind. Write your goals. Review your progress. Attack your priorities before anyone else even stirs. Every time you do this, you are conditioning yourself to persist. You are teaching your mind and body that discomfort is not optional, it is standard. You are saying, I will act regardless of how I feel. I will persist regardless of pain. I will never quit. Discipline is also about consistency, not intensity. You do not need to break records every day. You need to show up every day. The person who trains for 30 minutes every day without fail will outperform the person who trains 4 hours once a week. The person who writes 500 words consistently will outperform the person who writes 50 words sporadically. Discipline is habitual. Discipline is non-negotiable. Discipline is what turns micro actions into monumental results. Ritualize your discomfort, seek it out, push yourself to do the things you know are hard even when your mind protests. Your mind will hate you. At first it will scream, it will plead, it will threaten you. That's exactly when you know you're on the right path. Every repetition of this process is training your nervous system, your mindset, your identity. You are teaching yourself that suffering is temporary, but quitting is permanent. That every ache in your body, every mental barrier is an opportunity to reinforce your strength. Take ownership of your environment. Discipline does not happen in chaos. It is built when you control what you can, eliminate what you cannot, and design your life around relentless action. Make your space a tool for consistency. Make your schedule unforgiving. Remove distractions that tempt you into quitting. Build habits that cannot be negotiated. When every micro choice is designed to push you forward, quitting becomes impossible. Here's the next level. Self-imposed accountability. Don't just act, track it. Record your progress. Measure your performance. Hold yourself to standards higher than anyone else would dare to. The person who refuses to quit is always evaluating themselves, always pushing boundaries, always demanding more. Excuses cannot survive in the presence of relentless self-assessment. Discipline grows in the soil of accountability. You do not cheat yourself. You confront yourself daily. You face your shortcomings, and you correct them immediately. That is the path to mastery. Now let's talk about mental toughness in parallel with discipline. Discipline alone is the habit of action. Mental toughness is the endurance to continue when action feels unbearable. Discipline builds the framework. Wake early, train hard, push daily, but mental toughness ensures you do not collapse under fatigue, boredom, or fear. Discipline is the routine. Toughness is the fire that sustains it. Without discipline, toughness is sporadic. Without toughness, discipline is shallow. Together, they create unstoppable momentum. Think of the athlete rising at 4:30 a.m., running in freezing cold, lifting weights until his muscles scream, training in silence while the world sleeps. Nobody watches, nobody applauds. Motivation is absent. Pain is real, but he persists. That persistence is discipline. It is non-negotiable. It is ritualized. And eventually it becomes identity. It is no longer something he does, it is who he is. That is the ultimate goal. Discipline is not a choice. It is your nature. It is your default setting. It is the armor you wear when quitting is tempting, when life fights back, when weakness whispers in your ear. Here's the kicker. Discipline also requires sacrifice. It is not convenient. It is not comfortable. You will give up leisure. You will give up temporary pleasures. You will choose struggle over ease. You will train your body when it wants rest. You will focus your mind when it wants distractions. Every small sacrifice accumulates. Every refusal to quit compounds. And eventually those micro decisions become unshakable habits, unbreakable routines, and a mind conditioned to endure any hardship. Discipline is contagious to the self. The more you act despite discomfort, the stronger your resolve becomes. You will notice other areas of life bending to your will. The work you thought was tedious, the studies you thought were boring, the challenges you thought were impossible. When you condition yourself to act when you don't feel like it, quitting becomes unimaginable in every area of your life. Your identity shifts from reactive to proactive, from hesitant to relentless, from ordinary to unstoppable. And remember, discipline is not heroic in flash as it is relentless in repetition. The person who does the work consistently, who pushes even when motivation leaves, who leverages discomfort daily, will outperform the sporadic hero every single time. Consistency compounds, discipline compounds. Habit compounding is the secret of every master, every warrior, every high achiever. You cannot skip the repetition. You cannot cheat the discomfort. You cannot negotiate with the routine. You must commit fully, relentlessly, unflinchingly. So here's the challenge right here, right now. Examine every micro choice you make daily. Where do you settle for comfort? Where do you take the easy path? Where do you quit mentally before the work is finished? Identify it, confront it, attack it. Replace hesitation with action. Replace excuses with results. Build routines so ingrained that quitting is impossible. Make discipline a lifestyle, not an act of heroism. Make it your default state. Make it your identity. Because when discipline becomes identity, weakness has no foothold. Excuses cannot survive. Pain becomes fuel. Fatigue becomes training. Discomfort becomes the standard. And quitting simply ceases to exist. Everything you do starts in the mind, but nothing transforms until you redefine who you are. Your identity, the story you tell yourself about yourself, is the engine that drives every action, every choice, every step forward or back. If your self-concept is, I quit when it's hard, then quitting becomes automatic. But what if you rewired that story? What if every fiber of your being knew without question that quitting is impossible? That is the shift we are creating right now. From quitter to relentless performer. Your thoughts create your habits, but your habits forge your identity. Repetition is the hammer. Your mind is the anvil. Every time you choose to push past discomfort, every time you act when quitting seems easier, you are embedding a new truth into yourself. I finish what I start. I endure what is unbearable. I am unbreakable. This is not a motivational slogan. It is a mental reprogramming. You are telling your nervous system, your subconscious, your instincts that weakness is no longer allowed to exist in your life. Replace the words I give up with I finish. Replace I can't with I persist. These are not just phrases, they are commands to your identity. Your brain will hear them, and over time it will start to believe them. Every decision, every repetition, every act of endurance compounds. You are no longer the person who walks away at mile 10, who abandons a project at the first sign of pain. You are the person who fights to the last drop of energy, who conquers discomfort, who refuses to surrender under any circumstance. That is the mental and emotional apex of this transformation. Think of a phoenix rising from ashes. The fire represents every challenge, every failure, every moment you were tempted to quit. The ashes are the old identity, the self that cowered in the face of struggle, that rationalized failure, that hid from discomfort. And from those ashes, a new self emerges, forged in fire, tested under pressure, unyielding under pain. This is what identity transformation feels like. It is visceral, it is brutal, it is beautiful. Every scar, every ache, every past weakness becomes the fuel for this rebirth. Now internalize this. Identity determines action more than motivation ever will. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like waves. Identity is permanent. When you are truly relentless, the action is automatic. You do not wait to feel motivated. You do not negotiate with pain. You act because that is who you are. This is the defining distinction between the ordinary and the unstoppable. Ordinary people rely on moods, energy, luck. Relentless people act regardless of circumstance, because their identity leaves no room for compromise. And repetition is the key. Every small act of resistance, every uncomfortable choice, every moment you refuse to quit, rewires your identity. It is no longer a concept you are trying to adopt. It is a state of being. You carry it into your workouts, your studies, your work, your relationships. You carry it into every challenge that life throws at you. And with each reinforcement, quitting becomes impossible. Weakness becomes alien, pain becomes fuel. You are becoming unbreakable, not because the world made you, but because you chose to make yourself. Mental toughness is not something you turn on and off like a switch. It is not a tool you grab when life feels difficult and set aside when things feel easier. True mental resilience is a lifestyle, a standard, a code, a default operating mode. It is the framework you live by, the lens through which you view every challenge, every failure, every moment of discomfort. It is what separates people who endure temporary pain from those who achieve permanent greatness. And here is the brutal truth. The world will never demand less of you than your mind does. It will never hand you comfort. It will never create easy conditions. So if you want to win, you must live in constant preparation, training your mind to endure far beyond the moment of struggle. Set higher standards for yourself. Refuse comfort in every area of life. The gym is not just a place to build your body, it is a testing ground for your mind. When your muscles burn, when sweat pours into your eyes, when fatigue threatens to force you to quit, that is not punishment, that is opportunity. That is a moment to forge endurance, to push past the pain that breaks most people. Every rep, every step, every struggle you embrace compounds into resilience that will show up in work, study, relationships, in every corner of your life. Weak people wait for perfect conditions. Strong people create strength under any circumstance, embrace long-term suffering for ultimate gain. Short-term relief is a lie, comfort is an illusion. Every moment of pain, every sleepless night, every grinding session, every mental battle you endure is an investment in your future self. Think of the athlete training in freezing cold while everyone else sleeps. Every icy step, every aching muscle, every second spent pushing beyond fatigue is stored in the mind and body like raw capital. That is how you bank mental toughness. That is how you prepare to perform at a level that ordinary people cannot even imagine. The world rewards endurance, not ease. Pain is temporary. Weakness is optional. Long-term growth is permanent. This is about daily consistency, not occasional heroics. Mental resilience is not proven in moments of glory. It is forged in the countless small battles nobody sees. The student who studies after everyone else has gone to sleep, the professional who works while others relax, the athlete who trains while others quit, they all share one trait: relentless adherence to standards higher than the world demands. They refuse excuses, they refuse shortcuts, and they refuse to settle. And over time, that persistence compounds, becoming a force that cannot be disrupted by circumstance, fatigue, or fear. Mental toughness is action, not thought. The world does not reward wishing, hoping, or dreaming, it rewards doing. And doing in the face of adversity is the ultimate demonstration of resilience. It is one thing to endure a single moment of struggle. It is another to condition yourself to endure every moment where discomfort could otherwise derail you. That is the difference between temporary effort and permanent transformation. When your mind is disciplined, your body becomes reliable. When your habits are structured, your actions become unstoppable. Every challenge is no longer a threat, it is a proving ground. Think of the athlete running mile after mile while others rest. The moment his body screams for reprieve, the moment his lungs burn, the moment fatigue whispers stop, he ignores it. Every step is deliberate, every heartbeat is proof that he is stronger than his mind. Every moment of discomfort becomes a teacher, and eventually endurance becomes instinct. Mental resilience is no longer a choice, it becomes automatic. That is the standard you must build in your own life. Refuse comfort, chase struggle, embrace pain, and act relentlessly in every task that demands effort. Now, internalize this. Mental toughness cannot be compartmentalized. It is not a skill reserved for challenges or workouts. It is a lifestyle. It is the principle by which you measure yourself in work, in study, in relationships, in every situation that tests your limits. You will feel the urge to quit, to settle, to compromise. That is when mental resilience is revealed. That is when the habits, routines, and mindset you have built prove their value. You do not wait for motivation. You do not negotiate with discomfort. You endure, you persist, you dominate. That is what it means to live relentlessly. And here is the final key. Mental toughness grows exponentially when action compounds. Every day you face discomfort, every time you refuse to quit, every moment you choose standards over ease, you are rewiring yourself, you are forging identity from endurance. You are teaching your mind and body that weakness is no longer permitted. Quitting becomes impossible, fear becomes fuel, and struggle becomes the natural environment of your life. That is the ultimate lesson. Resilience is not an occasional tool, it is the foundation of everything you do. When you live this way, there is nothing the world can throw at you that will break you. This is the moment where everything converges: the pain you've endured, the excuses you've faced, the weakness you've confronted. All of it has led to this point. And here is the unflinching truth. Quitting is failure. Not tomorrow, not next week, not in some abstract sense. Quitting is failure now. Quitting is the refusal to grow, the refusal to fight, the refusal to honor your potential. It doesn't matter what circumstances surround you, how tired you feel, how impossible the task seems. If you quit, the battle is over. If you persist, the war belongs to you. Every single time your mind whispers, "Stop, this is too much," that is the exact moment you are being tested. That is the threshold where ordinary people fold and average lives are cemented. That is the line where you either surrender to comfort or declare yourself unbreakable. And make no mistake, this moment will come again and again, every day, in every challenge. Your body will ache. Your energy will dip. Your focus will falter. The world will throw every obstacle at you. But here's the secret. The fire is not meant to burn you down. It is meant to forge you into something relentless. Pain is temporary. Weakness is optional. Quitting is permanent. Picture a mountain climber battered by wind and rain, soaked to the bone, slipping on icy ledges. Every step is agony. Every breath is a struggle. Every inch gained feels impossible. And yet, inch by inch, step by step, they push forward. They reached the summit not because the journey was easy, but because surrender was never an option. And when they finally stand at the peak, the horizon stretches endlessly before them, a vision of freedom, power, and perspective earned only through persistence. That climber is you. The summit is your life, your goals, your potential. Every moment you refuse to quit is a step closer to standing above the storm. Life measures you by one thing and one thing alone: your refusal to quit, not by your luck, not by your comfort, not by how many times the world tried to stop you. Your measure is how often you got back up, how often you persevered when surrender seemed inevitable, how often you chose discomfort over weakness. Every "I can't" you face is a test. Every "this is too hard" is a crossroads. And every time you push past it, you carve strength into your character, endurance into your mind, and unbreakable resolve into your soul. This is not abstract. This is not hypothetical. This is life in its rawest form. Every morning you wake up, you face the temptation to settle. Every late night, every rep, every task that demands your full effort is a battle. And every single time you have a choice: quit or endure. Choose endurance, choose relentless action. Choose to rewrite the rules your mind has been feeding you about what is possible. That is how you win, not by avoiding struggle, but by dominating it. Here's what you must take away. Growth lives in the moments where quitting feels like the easiest option. Strength is forged when the mind says enough, but you push further. Every time you feel the urge to back down, to take the easy way, to surrender to comfort, that is the exact moment you are being offered a choice to remain ordinary or to become unstoppable. And every time you choose action, you reinforce a new identity, a new standard, a life built not on excuses, but on relentless willpower. So fight. Fight through every "I can't." Fight through every ache, every doubt, every whisper of weakness. Fight when nobody is watching. Fight when the world doubts you. Fight when even your own mind begs for relief. Because every second of resistance is an investment. Every act of persistence compounds into unshakable confidence. Every refusal to quit strengthens your foundation, sharpens your focus, and reinforces your identity as someone who does not back down never. And when the battle seems endless, when exhaustion threatens to crush you, when the horizon is obscured by storms of doubt, remember this: every step forward is proof. Every struggle endured is victory. Every act of courage against the urge to quit is transformation. You are not defined by the moments you fail or the moments you rest. You are defined by the moments you refuse to surrender. So go forward into every challenge, every workout, every task, every obstacle with one unshakable standard: quitting is not allowed. Surrender is not an option. Weakness will not live in you. Pain is temporary, growth is permanent, and your potential is limitless, but only if you refuse to back down. Every time you feel like quitting, that is the exact moment you grow stronger. Don't step aside. Don't give in. Don't negotiate with weakness. Stand tall. Push through. Dominate. And know with absolute certainty the person you are becoming is forged in these moments. Every time you feel like quitting, that's the exact moment you grow stronger. Don't back down. Ever.